Brothers and sisters, listen carefully, because what I am about to share is not an ordinary story or just any tale. This message comes to you with a clear purpose: to warn, awaken, and prepare humanity for what will happen on November 5th. Mark this date in your hearts, because on that day the sea will rise in an extraordinary way, and with it a call that will transcend borders, touch souls, and transform hearts. I'm not talking about something that has already happened, nor about a simple, natural phenomenon. I'm talking about a prophetic event, an act of creation that will be impossible to ignore. The ocean, that living mirror of the earth, will show its strength and its mercy. Giant waves will rise like columns of water, illuminated by golden and blue lights, and each wave will carry a message for those who have the sensitivity to listen with open hearts. Imagine for a moment the vastness of the sea, stretching as far as the eye can see. Now imagine that in that expanse, the water begins to move with a rhythm that belongs to no ordinary nature. It rises, breathes, and reflects the light of the sun and the moon in ways no human eye has ever seen. Every glimmer, every reflection, every ripple carries a warning. Humanity is being called to awaken. The messenger who guides those who hear these words has seen visions of that day. They tell me that from dawn on November 5th, waves will begin to rise with a force that will impress even the most skeptical. They will be majestic waves, reflecting the light of the sky, as if each drop of water contained a divine message. These waves will not seek to destroy cities or ships, but rather to provoke a reaction in the hearts of men. Fear will be transformed into awe, disbelief into reverence, and indifference into prayer. Brothers and sisters, you are asked not to view this event with your eyes alone. What will occur is not a natural spectacle, but a language of creation. Every vibration of the water, every flash of light, every deep sound emanating from the ocean will be a message that can only be interpreted by the soul. Those who perceive it with faith will feel a direct call from the Virgin Mary, who will send her warning and her mercy through this phenomenon. The skies on that day will also be part of the message. Flashes of blue and gold will streak across the horizon, forming patterns impossible to replicate by human means. Some will call them lightning, but those with open hearts will understand that they are celestial signs, ancient symbols announcing purification and spiritual awakening. The lightning, instead of bringing fear, will illuminate the souls of those willing to receive the message. Those near the coast will witness columns of water rising like giants reaching for the sky. From the beach, from boats, or even from nearby cities, the power of the sea communicating with humanity will be palpable. The wind will carry a gentle murmur, like whispers from heaven, words that invite prayer, reflection, and spiritual preparation. The messenger describes how many people will kneel before the spectacle, covering their faces and feeling tears stream down their cheeks. Others will raise their hands to the sky, repeating ancient prayers, and will experience an inexplicable peace. The energy emanating from the sea will touch everyone, but only those who listen with their hearts will fully grasp the magnitude of the message. Even those who don't believe in prophecies will feel a strange vibration coursing through their bodies, a tremor that cannot be explained by natural phenomena. The message will be universal. The sea speaks, and its communication transcends religions, cultures, and borders. Everyone will sense that something extraordinary is happening, though only those who are spiritually attentive will understand its purpose. The Virgin Mary will send her voice through the power of the sea. My children, prepare yourselves. On November 5th, the sea will rise, and each wave will bring a message of warning and mercy. Do not fear, pray, and listen with open hearts, for only in this way will you understand the truth I reveal to you. On that day, the lights on the horizon will form figures resembling angels and ancient symbols. These will not be illusions or tricks of the mind. They will be signs of creation, visible to all, but interpretable only by those who maintain their faith and spiritual sensitivity. The waves, the lightning, the wind, and the ocean's vibrations will be coordinated in a phenomenon that will seem orchestrated by higher powers. Cities near the oceans are expected to feel the magnitude of the event. Rooftops glowing with golden reflections, rivers and lakes lighting up, and animals sensing the energy and behaving in unusual ways. Humanity will witness a reminder it will never forget. Creation is alive, and the Virgin Mary speaks to us through its elements. The messenger urges everyone, do not look at this with fear, look with faith, do not run from the waves, listen to them, do not close your eyes, because what you will see and feel will change your life forever. Prepare your hearts, pray, and keep your consciousness awake. This November 5th will be a day marked in heaven and in the history of humanity. The phenomenon will be so intense that some will claim the sea seems to breathe, that the sky and ocean are connecting, and that all of nature is participating in an act of divine communication. The elderly will recall prophecies of old, the young will feel a profound calling, and all who are attentive will perceive that the warning is not only physical, but spiritual. The messenger warns, "My children, do not ignore what is to come. Do not be mistaken, thinking it is mere chance. Every wave, every flash, every vibration has a purpose. The sea will rise to purify, to unite, and to awaken humanity. Do not fear, and above all, pray." Even before November 5th arrives, those who read or hear this message will feel the call, an anticipation that will touch their hearts, preparing them to witness the prophetic manifestation. The Virgin Mary invites them to be alert, to open their eyes and their hearts, and to share the warning with all those who are not yet ready. And so, brothers and sisters, the first part of our prophetic journey ends with the awareness that something extraordinary is coming. On November 5th, the sea will speak. The Virgin Mary will send her message. Humanity will witness signs impossible to ignore. And those who listen with faith will understand that mercy and warning walk hand in hand, bringing the opportunity to awaken a world that needs it more than ever. Brothers and sisters, November 5th will not be an ordinary day. Those who are near the sea or even far away will feel a change in the air, a vibration that does not belong to the ordinary world. Before the first waves begin to rise, something deeper, invisible, yet undeniable, will sweep across the planet, a direct call from heaven. The messenger shared that days before the event, many will feel a stirring in their hearts, a kind of inexplicable anticipation, as if an invisible whisper were saying, "Prepare yourselves, the sea is going to speak." Ndul, that feeling will be the first celestial message. The entire universe is conspiring to awaken human consciousness, to remind us that life is not random and that every element of creation has a purpose. From the depths of the ocean, the winds will carry new, fresh scents that seem to cleanse the air and awaken the senses of those who listen attentively. The murmur of the sea will be more intense, as if whispering ancient secrets, revelations that humanity has forgotten with the passage of time. Each rising wave will carry a message coded in light and movement, which only those with open hearts will be able to interpret. The sky, meanwhile, will display flashes of blue and gold that will move in sync with the waves. These will be lights that do not belong to the natural world, but rather seem to emanate directly from celestial energy. Some witnesses will describe them as columns of cold fire, others as rays of mercy illuminating the darkness of human unbelief. The Virgin Mary will be present in this message, conveying love, warning, and guidance to every heart willing to listen. The messenger recounts that many cities will feel the approach of the event even before the sea rises. The energy will expand, and people far from the coast will perceive chills, deep sounds, or flashes of light that no one can explain. It is as if the entire universe is aligned to send a reminder. Creation is alive, and you are part of it. Oh, brothers and sisters, this is not a mere natural spectacle nor an isolated phenomenon. November 5th will be an act of direct communication with humanity. The sea, the sky, and every element of nature will act as messengers of the divine. And those who are unprepared, those who ignore these signs, will feel only fear and bewilderment. But those who listen with faith will receive clarity, understanding, and a profound spiritual awakening. The messenger warns that the most spiritually sensitive will be the first to perceive the full signs. Lights that seem to dance on the water, sounds that resonate in the chest and heart, and an inner warmth that fills one with peace and reverence. The Virgin Mary will send her direct message. My children, the sea will rise, and with it will send a reminder of my love and of the mercy that walks with warning. Pray, listen, and keep the faith. Do not be confused by the appearance of the water and the sky. What you will see is a guide for humanity. Meanwhile, those in coastal cities or nearby areas will feel the intensity of the elements. Animals will behave unusually, as if sensing the energy circulating on the planet. Birds will fly in strange patterns, and the winds will carry unfamiliar scents, mingling ocean salt with the feeling of something divine approaching. All of this will be a prelude to the main phenomenon, the rising of the sea and the manifestation of lights that symbolize the celestial call. The messenger recounts that even the most skeptical people, those who don't believe in prophecies or divine signs, will feel uneasy. An inexplicable fear will mingle with awe, and a deep desire to seek answers will overwhelm them. Some will try to ignore it. Others will gaze at the sky and the sea, wondering if what they perceive is real. And therein lies the message: not everything that is perceived is visible to the eyes. Some miracles are only understood with the heart. The first waves that rise will not be destructive. They will be a reminder, a language of water that communicates care and warning. Every shimmering foam, every sparkle on the surface will be a symbol of the Virgin Mary's mercy. The messenger assures that those who pray and maintain their faith will perceive a direct connection with the energy of the sea, feeling their spirits rise with the rhythm of the waves. For those who choose to remain in prayer, it will be as if every word they speak resonates in harmony with the ocean. The Virgin Mary will speak to them through every element, reminding them that faith not only protects, but also allows them to understand the magnitude of the message heaven is sending. The messenger describes how, as November 5th progresses, light patterns over the sea will begin to form recognizable figures. Angels, ancient symbols, and shapes that evoke mercy, guidance, and warning. All of this will be invisible to those who ignore the call, but those with open hearts will understand that the Virgin Mary is present, guiding humanity through this extraordinary phenomenon. The warning is clear. Do not ignore the signs. Do not run. Do not look with fear. Listen with your heart and pray with faith. Each of Mary's words will be a spiritual anchor for those present, a reminder that what is happening is not by chance, but a direct intervention from heaven. Even those who don't believe in miracles will feel a profound change in the atmosphere. The sounds of the ocean and the wind will be more intense, and the energy that will course through the planet will touch everyone in some way. Humanity will not be able to remain indifferent. There will be awe, excitement, and an awakening that will spread like invisible waves, transforming the perception of those who are attentive. The messenger assures us that this event will mark a turning point. It will not be merely a visual spectacle. It will be a global call to spiritual awakening, unity, prayer, and open hearts. On November 5th, the entire world will have the opportunity to connect with something greater than everyday life, with creation itself, and with the loving guidance of the Virgin Mary. Finally, the messenger concludes the segment by reminding everyone, "My children, prepare your hearts. This November 5th will be a prophetic day. The sea will rise, the sky will shine, and humanity will be called to awaken. Do not fear, pray, and listen attentively. All that is to come has a divine purpose, and those who open their hearts will understand the magnitude of this heavenly message. Brothers and sisters, as we approach November 5th, it is crucial to understand that what will occur is not an ordinary event or a natural phenomenon that can be explained by conventional science. The sea, the sky, and the light will unite in an act that will defy human perception and can only be interpreted with an open heart and faith in the divine. From the early hours of that day, the waters will begin to behave in ways few have ever witnessed. The first glimmers will appear on the ocean surface as if the sun and moon were reflecting simultaneously on each wave. Each light will be different, some golden, others bluish, and all will vibrate to the rhythm of an invisible message that pierces the hearts of those present. Those who remain attentive will feel the energy of the sea coursing through their bodies, awakening sensations of reverence, awe, and fear mingled with an inexplicable love. The messenger describes how each wave will have a deliberate movement, as if obeying a higher intelligence. They will rise and fall in perfect synchronicity, creating patterns impossible for human hands to replicate. Some of those present will be able to see figures in the water, shapes that evoke angels, ancient symbols, and coded messages that only the soul can decode. Each figure will be illuminated by a light that does not belong to this world, but to a celestial realm. The sky, meanwhile, will begin to darken with clouds that will not be black, but a deep blue, shimmering with golden reflections. Silent flashes of lightning will cross the horizon, without thunder, as if they were luminous messages sent directly from heaven. These flashes will form figures and symbols that, although incomprehensible to the rational mind, will communicate a direct message to those who listen with faith. The messenger explains that the sounds of the sea will be different from usual. It won't just be the roar of the waves, but a deep, almost musical murmur that will resonate in the chests and heads of the witnesses. Some describe a tone that seems to speak directly to them, words heard not with the ears, but with the heart, repeating over and over, "My children, listen. Prepare yourselves, do not be afraid." Those who are more spiritually sensitive will witness the phenomenon reach its climax. Columns of water will rise tens of meters high, illuminated by lights that seem to emanate from within the ocean itself. Each column will form distinct symbols, and those who pray will feel the Virgin Mary speaking through every movement of water, every flash, and every vibration. On nearby ships, the crews will feel profound awe. Some will fall to their knees, others will raise their hands to the sky, and all will perceive that what is happening is impossible to explain by natural laws. The messenger insists that the purpose of this phenomenon is not fear, but spiritual preparation. Every symbol, every light, and every wave is a message of warning and mercy. The Virgin Mary is present, and her love is tangibly manifested through the sea. Those in nearby cities will be able to see reflections of the phenomenon on the water of rivers and lakes, and even if they are not facing the ocean, they will feel the vibration that resonates throughout the earth. The message is universal, and no one will remain completely untouched by the signal. The skies will be filled with flashes of light, and the rays of light that pierce the clouds will form figures that some will describe as luminous angels. Everything will be perfectly synchronized, as if nature itself were performing a celestial symphony. The messenger recounts that there will be moments when the waves will seem to form a visual language, with symbols and patterns that constantly change. Only those who maintain their attention and faith will be able to read the complete message. Others will perceive fragments, and although they may not understand everything, they will feel a mixture of awe and urgency that will touch their hearts. As the phenomenon intensifies, a warm wind will sweep along the coast, carrying new, fresh, and unfamiliar scents, as if nature itself wished to purify the air and awaken the senses of those who perceive it. Animals will react in unusual ways, birds flying in synchronized patterns, fish approaching the surface, and marine creatures moving in coordination with the waves. All will be part of divine communication. The messenger warns that not everyone will immediately understand the meaning of the event. Some will feel fear or anxiety. Others will believe it is a sign of destruction. However, those who listen with their hearts will discover a message of hope and mercy. The Virgin Mary is calling us to awaken, to unite in prayer, and to prepare for a profound spiritual transformation. During the peak of the phenomenon, the lights over the sea and in the sky will reach an intense brilliance. Golden and blue columns will form figures of angels, ancient symbols and shapes that evoke love and protection. Every spectator who prays will feel the direct presence of the Virgin Mary, as if she were on the water, guiding and comforting all those present. The messenger recounts that even those who don't believe in miracles will feel a profound tremor, a calling that stirs within them, reminding them that life is not a matter of chance. The warning is clear. Listen with your heart. Prepare your souls. For November 5th will be a day that marks a turning point for humanity. The waves will continue to rise and fall, forming patterns that seem to dance to the rhythm of an unseen message. Every shimmering foam and every flash on the horizon will be a reminder that creation is alive, and that the Virgin Mary is sending both her warning and her mercy. Finally, the messenger concludes this block with a direct message. My children, do not fear. The sea will rise, and with it will come signs of warning and love. Do not run, do not close your eyes. Look, listen, and pray with faith. Only in this way will you understand the mystery of this prophetic day, and only in this way will you be able to receive the guidance that heaven has prepared for you. Brothers and sisters, to understand the magnitude of what will happen on November 5th, we must look back to the prophecies and warnings that entire generations received from heaven. It is no coincidence that this event is manifesting now. Humanity has been guided for centuries through visions, messages, and signs that point toward an inevitable spiritual awakening. Since ancient times, there have been accounts from saints and mystics describing phenomena similar to what we will soon witness. The rising sea, celestial lights in the sky, and signs heralding purification and mercy. Some spoke of waves rising like columns and golden lights piercing the darkness. Today we understand that these words were not metaphors. They were warnings to prepare us, to keep our hearts open and our faith steadfast. Among the most important records is the warning of a prophet who said, "There will be a day when the waters will rise and the skies will shine with golden and blue light. Whoever listens with their heart will understand that mercy and warning go hand in hand." This ancient message resonates with what we will experience on November 5th. The sea, the sky, and the light will not be just a natural spectacle. They will be the materialization of these prophecies that speak to us from the past. Another ancient testimony mentions that the waters will send a message to humankind. The ocean will speak, and its waves will touch the hearts of those who are attentive. Whoever ignores the sign will lose the opportunity to understand God's call. This message reinforces the importance of prayer and spiritual preparation. On November 5th, every wave and every flash of light will be words from heaven, and only those who maintain faith will be able to decipher them. Ancient mystics also described the synchronicity between sea and sky as a manifestation of the divine. When the water rises and the sky illuminates with otherworldly light, the message is not chaos, but spiritual order. Every symbol, every flash, every pattern we see will be part of a celestial language designed to guide humanity toward understanding and unity. The messenger recounts that, in contemporary visions, the Virgin Mary has recalled these ancient prophecies and connected them to the event of November 5th. She says, "My children, do not forget what has been announced. Everything you will see was foretold, and now it will be fulfilled to awaken hearts and unite humanity in prayer." Ancient warnings also mention consequences for those who ignore the signs. It is not about punishment, but about the loss of an opportunity for learning and spiritual awakening. Heaven uses natural phenomena such as the sea, light, and the earth's vibration to call to humanity. Those who close their hearts on that day will feel only fear and confusion. Those who are attentive and prayerful will receive clarity and guidance. The messenger explains that ancient prophecies agree on one crucial point. Humanity needs to remember its connection to creation. The sea and the sky act as mirrors, reflecting the condition of the human soul. On November 5th, this synchronicity will be visible to all, and those who open their spiritual eyes will understand that the Virgin Mary has been guiding humanity throughout the centuries. Among the most striking texts is one that speaks of columns of light over the sea, accompanied by sounds that resonate in the hearts of the faithful. This detail coincides with what the phenomenon of November 5th foretells. Waves that rise like giants, illuminated by golden and blue flashes, and profound sounds that only those who pray and listen with their hearts will be able to interpret correctly. The warnings of ancient saints and mystics not only predict physical phenomena, but also shifts in human perception. They speak of an awakening of consciousness, a call to recognize the interconnectedness between humanity and creation. Every wave, every flash, every vibration of the sea will be a reminder that heaven continues to communicate with us, that we have not been abandoned, and that every human action has an echo in nature. The messenger insists that this historical and spiritual context is fundamental to understanding November 5th. It will not be an isolated event or a spectacle to admire from afar. It will be the culmination of centuries of warnings, visions, and prophetic messages. The Virgin Mary reminds us that these signs are not meant to frighten, but to guide. Their purpose is to open our hearts and allow each of us to receive the light of truth and mercy. Even today, as we prepare for that day, we can feel the anticipation. The messenger recounts that some people, upon reading these ancient prophecies and visions, feel a profound emotion, a mixture of fear and hope that heralds what is to come. That is the energy of November 5th. A phenomenon that will not only stir nature, but also touch the spirit of those who are attentive. Ancient texts also mention that the sea and the sky do not act alone. The elements, animals, and even the sounds of the wind participate in divine communication. The patterns we see in the waves, the lights that cross the sky, and the vibrations that resonate through the earth are part of a complex language that can only be interpreted with faith and attentiveness. The messenger reminds us that the prophets of old said something we should keep in mind. When the sea recedes and the sky is illuminated, every soul will have the opportunity to understand its purpose and its connection to the divine. Whoever ignores these signs will also ignore the voice of God. On November 5th, these words will come true. Finally, the Virgin Mary sends her direct message through the messenger. My children, look to the past to understand the present. What has been foretold for centuries will be revealed on November 5th. Pray, listen, and keep the faith, for mercy and warning come together for those who open their hearts. Thus, brothers and sisters, this fourth section establishes the connection between prophetic history and the future event. It prepares us for the next section, where we will explore the point of crisis or revelation of the phenomenon, showing how humanity will begin to react and confront the magnitude of what will occur. Brothers and sisters, November 5th will approach its most intense point, a moment that will mark history. The sea and the sky will not only have sent anticipatory messages, now the full revelation will begin, a point of crisis that will touch all of humanity. This moment will not only be visual or sensory, but spiritual. Every soul will feel that something extraordinary is happening and that there is no turning back. From dawn, the waves will begin to rise higher than anyone has ever seen. Columns will form that seem to touch the sky, illuminated by golden and blue lights that move to the rhythm of an unseen message. The sounds of the sea will intensify, vibrating in the earth, the air, and the hearts of those who are attentive. Witnesses describe a murmur that cannot be explained, words that are felt more than heard, inviting reflection, prayer, and repentance. The messenger recounts that many will fall to their knees before the power of the ocean, feeling a mixture of fear, awe, and hope. For some, the fear will be overwhelming. For others, the light and energy transmitted by the sea will be a balm that soothes the heart. The Virgin Mary, through this phenomenon, will send her message, "My children, do not fear. What you see is my warning and my mercy. Listen with faith, for every wave, every flash, every vibration has a purpose." At this critical juncture, the sky will also reveal its most powerful manifestation. Rays of light will pierce the clouds, forming figures that can only be interpreted by those who hold fast to the faith. Luminous angels, ancient symbols, and divine patterns will appear among the clouds and reflect the light upon the sea, creating a spectacle impossible to ignore. The most spiritually sensitive will feel a direct connection with the Virgin Mary, as if she herself were present upon the waves. Humanity will begin to realize that the phenomenon is not random. People in distant cities will feel vibrations in the ground, hear deep sounds in the air, and see flashes of light that will pierce through windows and roofs. Some will try to ignore it, but it will be impossible. The celestial warning is global. No one will remain completely untouched by the signal. The messenger recounts that nearby ships will face the magnitude of the waves, and their crews will be filled with awe and fear. However, those who pray and remain calm will feel an inner peace, as if the Virgin Mary were protecting and guiding them through the phenomenon. This moment will serve to distinguish the reaction of fear from the reaction of faith. Those who open their hearts will receive clarity and guidance. Those who close their eyes will feel only bewilderment and confusion. The light patterns over the sea will become increasingly complex. Golden and blue columns will intertwine, forming figures of angels and ancient symbols. Witnesses with deep faith will be able to interpret messages that have been repeated throughout history. Warnings of purification, calls to unity, invitations to prayer, and reminders of divine mercy. Each pattern will be a word from heaven, a phrase that can only be read with the heart. The messenger warns that this turning point will also reveal the true condition of humanity. Those who have ignored previous signs will feel fear, anxiety, and disorientation. Others who have maintained their faith will experience an inner awakening. The realization that the sea and sky act as mirrors of spiritual reality, reflecting the world's need for change and unity. On the coasts, the waves will reach breathtaking heights, illuminated by otherworldly flashes that seem to dance across the water. The wind will carry unfamiliar, refreshing and energizing scents, while birds and animals react in perfect harmony with the elements. All will be part of a divine communication, a language that cannot be explained with human words, but is felt deep within the heart. The messenger narrates that at this moment of revelation, the Virgin Mary will send her message with greater clarity. My children, this is the moment to understand. November 5th is a day of warning and mercy. Do not fear, pray, and listen attentively. Creation itself speaks, and I am with you in every wave, in every flash, and in every vibration. The youngest and the oldest will feel the impact differently, but all will perceive that life is not a matter of chance. Every human reaction, every thought, and every prayer will resonate in nature. The synchronicity between the sea, the sky, and the hearts of humankind will be perfect, demonstrating that the phenomenon is a conscious act of heaven. The messenger assures that those who observe attentively will feel an inner peace mingled with awe. The force of the waves, The light of the flashes and the vibration of the ocean will act as a reminder that the Virgin Mary is present, guiding and protecting. This will be a moment of collective learning. Humanity will understand the magnitude of its connection to the divine. Some will experience visions during this critical time, images of angels, ancient symbols, and scenes of mercy and purification. These visions will reinforce heaven's message. Nothing happens by chance. Every element of this phenomenon is designed to awaken hearts, unite people in prayer, and remind us that faith is the guide that allows us to interpret the signs from heaven. Finally, the messenger concludes this section by reminding us that this moment of crisis is not the end, but a point of revelation. My children, November 5th has reached its climax. The sea and the sky are speaking, and every heart has the opportunity to listen. Do not close your eyes. Do not hide from the message. Look, pray, and open your soul to the truth. The Virgin Mary is with you, guiding you toward understanding and unity. Brothers and sisters, as November 5th unfolds, humanity will begin to reveal its true nature in the face of the phenomenon unfolding before its eyes. Not everyone will react in the same way. Some will open their hearts and listen with faith, while others will close their eyes, ignoring the signs and missing the opportunity to understand the heavenly message. This moment will be a test of conscience and spirituality. Those who listen, those with open hearts and receptive minds, will perceive every detail of the phenomenon profoundly. They will feel how the waves not only rise physically, but also carry invisible words, patterns of light, and vibrations that speak directly to the spirit. These witnesses will bow in prayer, feeling an inner peace that blends reverence with awe. Every flash in the sky, every murmur of the sea will be interpreted as a divine message, and their faith will grow with each passing moment. The messenger recounts that these people will have very intense reactions. Some will weep with emotion, others will raise their hands to the sky, and many will join in spontaneous prayer, aware that the phenomenon is no coincidence. Their hearts will be aligned with the energy of the sea and the sky, allowing them to receive clarity, understanding, and a direct connection with the Virgin Mary. Each prayer will be a thread that binds their spirit to the message from heaven. Among those who listen, the most spiritually sensitive may perceive figures of angels among the waves and flashes of light. They will see ancient symbols appearing and disappearing, like a secret language sent by the Virgin Mary for those willing to understand. These witnesses will feel that mercy and warning walk hand in hand, and they will understand that what is happening has a purpose greater than the mere contemplation of nature. On the other hand, those who ignore the signs will react very differently. Some will feel fear, anxiety, or disbelief. They will try to rationalize what they see, seeking scientific explanations, or claiming that they are optical illusions or normal weather phenomena. Their hearts will be closed, and even though the message is right in front of them, they will be unable to perceive its meaning. The messenger describes how these people, despite witnessing a supernatural spectacle, will not pause to reflect or pray. Some will even criticize those who bow in prayer, mocking or belittling the faith of others. However, the phenomenon does not discriminate. Its light and vibration pierce through disbelief, touching the hearts of those willing to receive it and leaving only confusion in those who reject it. Those who listen will feel an inner force compelling them to act. Perhaps they will guide others to prayer, share messages of warning and mercy, or simply remain silent, absorbing the energy of heaven. Every action will be marked by the connection to the divine, and the messenger insists that these moments will define each of their spiritual paths. Meanwhile, those who remain ignorant will feel an inner emptiness. They will notice that something extraordinary is happening, but they will be unable to understand or integrate it. Some will feel growing fear, others anxiety or helplessness. Their hearts will be unable to interpret the language of the waves, the lights, and the sounds, and their experience will turn into confusion and disorientation. The messenger assures us that this division between those who listen and those who ignore is not a judgment, but an opportunity. Heaven offers guidance to all, but each person decides whether to open their heart or close their eyes. Those who choose to listen will experience a profound spiritual awakening, while those who ignore will only feel fragments of the experience without understanding its purpose. In the towns and cities near the phenomenon, this difference will be visible. Some groups of people will spontaneously gather in prayer, forming circles facing the sea or gazing at the sky with reverence and attention. Others will drift away, murmuring, worried, or confused, without grasping the true magnitude of what is happening. This separation will reflect each person's faith and spiritual openness. The messenger recounts that those who listen will receive additional signs, more intense flashes of light, wave patterns that seem to guide their steps, sounds that resonate in their chests and remind them of the presence of the Virgin Mary. All of this will be a confirmation that their attention and faith connect them directly to the divine message. Conversely, those who are ignorant will not perceive these signs. They may see the same spectacle but without understanding it. Their experience will be limited to the surface of the visible, and their hearts will not resonate with the vibration of heaven. The messenger emphasizes that this difference is fundamental. Faith opens the eyes of the soul and allows one to interpret the language of divine phenomena. At this moment on November 5th, the Virgin Mary will send a clear message to both groups. My children, I have given signs and warnings. To those who listen, I give my light and my guidance. To those who ignore, I leave the opportunity to open their hearts. Do not close your eyes to the truth. Do not let this call pass you by. The messenger assures that those who choose to listen will experience a profound change. Fear will transform into understanding, anxiety into peace, and disbelief into spiritual certainty. They will feel that their faith not only protects them, but also allows them to grasp the magnitude of the message and the mercy that accompanies the warning. As the day progresses, the difference between those who listen and those who ignore will become more apparent. The energy of the sea and the sky will intensify, touching those with open hearts more deeply and leaving only confusion for those who reject the message. This contrast will reflect the faith and spiritual awareness of each individual, reminding us that every choice we make before heaven has immediate consequences for our perception and learning. The messenger concludes the segment by emphasizing the importance of individual decision-making. My children, November 5th has revealed the power of heaven and the sea. Those who listen find light and guidance. Those who ignore see only shadows and confusion. Open your hearts, pray and pay attention, for the Virgin Mary is with you, guiding those who seek to understand and awaken. Brothers and sisters, as November 5th unfolds and the phenomenon reaches its point of revelation, not only the sea and the sky send signs, humanity itself becomes a witness and messenger of the divine warning. Testimonies from those who observe, feel, and pray begin to multiply, showing that the message of the Virgin Mary is not an abstract narrative, but a tangible and shared experience. From the shore, an elderly fisherman, his hands wrinkled by time and salt, recounts how he saw the waves rise in impossible patterns. "I've never felt anything like it in my life," he says, his voice trembling. "It was as if the waves were speaking to me, and I knew it was a message for all of us." His testimony is spreading across social media and in local conversations, bringing a whisper of faith to those who still doubt the phenomenon. In the small town near the beach, a mother and her son watch as the sky lights up with flashes of gold and blue. The boy, amazed, asks, "Mom, are those angels?" With tears in her eyes, she replies, "Yes, son, The Virgin Mary is showing us that we must pray and guard our hearts. This seemingly simple moment is proof that human signs reflect heavenly miracles. Faith is passed down from generation to generation, and every gesture of attention to heaven confirms the divine message. The messenger describes how the testimonies are not limited to words, but extend to sensory experiences. People report feeling a vibration in the ground, a murmur in the air, and an unfamiliar aroma that fills them with calm. Some describe how, upon touching the water, it seems to respond with gentle currents and bright flashes. These subtle yet powerful human signs act as confirmation that the Virgin Mary is present and that the phenomenon of November 5th has a spiritual purpose. In cities farther from the coast, people also feel the presence of the event. An elderly woman recounts seeing the light of the phenomenon reflected on her window panes, creating shapes that could not be explained by ordinary physics. "It was as if angels came into my living room," she says, sobbing. These kinds of signs demonstrate that the celestial message transcends geography, touching every human being willing to open their heart. The messenger insists that these signs are not coincidences. Each individual experience, each testimony shared with others, amplifies the power of the divine message. The Virgin Mary uses both natural phenomena and human reactions to weave a tapestry of warning and mercy that spans the globe. Some young people report seeing figures in the sky that appear to form ancient symbols, while others feel an inner calling to pray and meditate. Even those who don't believe in miracles feel a vibration that runs through their chest, reminding them that something extraordinary is happening. These human testimonies not only validate the experience but also create a ripple effect. Those who read or hear these stories feel the need to observe and reflect. The messenger narrates how the testimonies become a collective language. Each story, each sign perceived by humanity, becomes a mirror of the phenomenon. People who didn't know each other find themselves sharing similar experiences. Flashes of light, waves that respond to touch, unfamiliar aromas, vibrations in the earth. All of this confirms that the message of November 5th is real, tangible, and collective. Some testimonies even describe physical and emotional changes. "I felt a warmth in my heart, as if someone were embracing me from heaven," says an elderly man. Others mention that anxiety transforms into peace when praying before the illuminated sea. The messenger assures that these human signs are part of the language of the Virgin Mary. Warning and mercy are manifested both in nature and in the hearts of those who observe with faith. At the height of the phenomenon, witnesses reported seeing figures of light moving in rhythm with the waves, as if dancing in harmony with the ocean and the sky. Some described angels in golden and blue robes, while others perceived ancient symbols that constantly shifted. These accounts are proof that divine communication uses both vision and emotion to convey its message. The messenger emphasizes that each testimony has a purpose: to inspire faith, awaken hearts, and guide humanity toward prayer and unity. Individual accounts create a collective mosaic, evidence that transcends disbelief. When thousands of people experience similar phenomena, spiritual reality becomes undeniable. As testimonies multiply, the phenomenon continues to intensify. People in different regions feel vibrations, lights, and sounds that confirm what the sea and sky have revealed. Some even record images and videos. But the messenger clarifies that true perception goes beyond the visual. It's about feeling the message with the heart and recognizing the presence of the Virgin Mary. The messenger recounts that those who listen and share their testimonies act as secondary messengers. Each story inspires others to open their spiritual eyes and pay attention to the signs from heaven. This multiplying effect demonstrates that humanity itself becomes part of the phenomenon, uniting natural and supernatural experience in a collective act of faith and awareness. Finally, the Virgin Mary sends her message through testimonies. My children, observe your brothers and sisters. Every testimony, every human sign is my voice on earth. Listen, pray, and keep the faith, because what is happening is not just a spectacle, but an opportunity to awaken and draw closer to my heart. Thus, brothers and sisters, this seventh section establishes how humanity becomes an active participant in the November 5th phenomenon. It prepares us for section 8, where we will see the clearest divine interventions and how miracles begin to manifest, connecting the celestial with the human in a tangible and emotional way. Brothers and sisters, as November 5th unfolds, humanity begins to witness something that transcends nature: divine intervention. These are not mere lights or waves. They are manifestations that can only be explained as the direct presence of heaven. The Virgin Mary, in her infinite mercy, begins to act visibly, demonstrating that the phenomenon is not an accident, but a living message for all. From dawn, those who observe the sea sense changes impossible to ignore. The water that once crashed with force now moves with harmony, creating patterns of light and shadow that form recognizable figures. Angels rising, crosses shining, ancient symbols that have accompanied humanity for centuries. Witnesses feel a peace that surpasses any earthly explanation, and many weep with emotion upon realizing that the Virgin Mary is guiding every movement. The messenger recounts that, while some still doubt, others begin to experience personal miracles. Sick people feel sudden relief, children from troubled families experience reconciliation, and those who have lost hope feel a renewed sense of purpose. Each miracle is evidence of the divine presence and a reminder that November 5th is no ordinary day. Among the most astonishing miracles are those that occur within the waves themselves. Some fishermen and coastal inhabitants report seeing the sea form paths of light, as if guiding ships back to safe harbor. Others describe how the waves seem to rise gently, protecting those who approach the water and creating a feeling of divine embrace. The messenger assures us that this divine intervention is not only physical, but also spiritual. The Virgin Mary acts upon the heart of every person present. Those who pray receive comfort, clarity, and strength, and those who doubt feel an invitation to open their faith. Even those who do not believe in miracles feel an inner impulse to reflect, to pause and observe, as if the energy of heaven were flowing through their minds and souls. In the coastal cities, the signs are multiplying. Lights that seem to descend from the sky illuminate plazas, parks, and buildings, creating figures that disappear and reappear in patterns of spiritual significance. Some witnesses perceive soft sounds, like angelic music or a murmur whispering words of comfort. Each manifestation confirms that heaven is acting with precision and love, communicating a clear message: listen, pray, and awaken. The messenger recounts how the miracles are not limited to people and the sea. Nature itself participates, birds flying in perfect formation, animals exhibiting unusual yet peaceful behavior, and the wind carrying unfamiliar and refreshing scents, as if the entire environment were being blessed by the Virgin Mary. Every natural element becomes both a witness and a messenger of the phenomenon. Among the most striking accounts, some witnesses see human figures formed by light on the water, as if angels were taking shape to communicate with those who have faith. Others experience sudden healings or the resolution of problems that had remained unsolved for years. Each miracle is a reminder that divine mercy always accompanies warning. It is not about punishment, but about love and guidance for those who listen. The messenger emphasizes that divine intervention creates a direct connection between the celestial and the human. Every wave, every flash of light, every vibration of the sea and the wind acts as a channel uniting the human heart with the message of the Virgin Mary. The experience is not limited to the visual. It is sensory, emotional, and spiritual, allowing each witness to perceive the presence of the divine in their life. Some observers feel as if time stands still. Moments that normally last seconds seem like eternities as they witness the lights and patterns on the sea. Others feel the energy of miracles in their chests, a warmth that fills them with calm and hope, reminding them that the Virgin Mary is present and that every event, every wave, and every light has a purpose. The messenger recounts that, at this point, even the most skeptical begin to question their doubts. Witnessing divine intervention, they feel the impossible become tangible. Some kneel, others weep, and many begin to pray spontaneously, guided by an inner force that connects them to the Virgin Mary. This collective awakening is a direct manifestation of heavenly mercy and marks the difference between those who will remain attentive to the message and those who will ignore it. At specific times, the Virgin Mary sends direct messages through signs. My children, look with faith, for everything that happens is an act of my love and mercy. Pray, listen, and remain united in prayer. What you see is not just a spectacle, but a guide for your souls. The miracles continued throughout the day. People who were on the verge of losing hope found immediate solutions to personal problems. Families separated by conflict were reconciled. Individuals who doubted their faith found clarity and purpose. Each manifestation was a testament to the fact that divine intervention is not limited to the physical phenomenon, but transforms the lives of those who hear it. The messenger assures us that this series of miracles and supernatural signs serves as preparation for the final stages of the phenomenon. Humanity is beginning to understand that the Virgin Mary acts with intention, that every wave, every light, and every vibration has a profound spiritual meaning, and that faith is the channel through which we can perceive and fully benefit from these signs. Finally, the messenger concludes Block 8 with a reminder: My children, November 5th reveals the power of heaven and the mercy of the Virgin Mary. Those who observe with faith, who pray, and who open their hearts will receive clarity, protection, and guidance. Miracles and signs are proof that you are not alone, and that every moment lived on this day is a gift from heaven. Brothers and sisters, as November 5th unfolds, humanity begins to experience a profound change. What once seemed a distant or incomprehensible phenomenon now touches the heart of every being willing to listen. The Virgin Mary, through the sea, the light, the wind, and human testimonies, begins to sow the seed of spiritual awakening. This is the moment when hearts begin to transform, and the collective consciousness rises beyond what many had imagined. The messenger recounts how those who observed, listened, and prayed during the phenomenon feel that something within them has changed. The fears and anxieties that had plagued them for years begin to dissipate, replaced by a sense of clarity and purpose. The sea, once turbulent, now reflects calm and harmony, as if each wave carries a message of renewal and mercy. In coastal villages, people who barely knew prayer feel a spontaneous urge to kneel, close their eyes, and connect with the divine. Some weep silently, others raise their hands to the sky, and all feel the presence of the Virgin Mary, guiding their thoughts and emotions toward understanding their own hearts. Every gesture of faith, however small it may seem, becomes an act of spiritual transformation. The messenger describes how the change is not limited to isolated individuals, but extends collectively. Entire families feel a renewed bond. Conflicts soften, words of reconciliation flow more easily, and acts of kindness and care multiply. The energy of the phenomenon acts as a catalyst, awakening empathy, understanding, and unity in those who actively participate in the event. Even in cities far from the coast, where the physical phenomenon of the sea is less obvious, people perceive the change through subtle signs. Unusual lights in the sky, vibrations that seem to pass through the air, and a general sense of calm mixed with awe. Those who have heard the testimonies of others and shared their own experiences feel they are part of something greater, a collective movement guided by the Virgin Mary toward transformation and faith. The messenger emphasizes that spiritual change manifests in many ways. Some experience a sudden clarity in personal decisions, understanding paths that previously seemed confusing or impossible. Others feel an urgency to help others, to guide those who still doubt, and to share messages of hope and faith. Every action becomes a reflection of the inner awakening brought about by the phenomenon. Among the most moving testimonies are those who report visions of the near future. Images of restored peace, united communities, and a world more aware of its connection to the divine. These visions are not mere illusions, but manifestations of the spiritual energy that the Virgin Mary is transmitting through the event of November 5th. Each vision confirms that change is real, palpable, and necessary. The messenger assures us that those who initially ignored the signs now feel curiosity or regret. Some seek to connect with those who listened and shared their experiences, trying to understand what they missed by closing their hearts. This belated awakening demonstrates that the phenomenon has a lasting effect. Even those who doubt can open themselves to the truth and receive divine guidance if they allow it. Meanwhile, the most devout experience an expansion of consciousness. Prayer and attention to the phenomenon create an energy field that affects not only those directly involved, but also their surroundings. Neighbors, friends, and family begin to notice changes in attitudes, words, and actions, demonstrating that the spiritual transformation has a multiplying effect, spreading like waves from one heart to another. The messenger describes how the Virgin Mary continues to send clear messages during this process of transformation. My children, the awakening has begun. Listen, observe, and pray. Every open heart receives my guidance, and every action done in faith contributes to change in the world. Do not be afraid to walk in the light, for I am with you. The phenomena of the sea and sky are now perceived as symbols of this spiritual shift. Each wave reflecting the golden and blue light seems to point the way to renewal. Every glimmer in the sky recalls the constant presence of the divine, and every sound of the wind and waves acts as a call to remain attentive, to pray, and to live consciously. The messenger emphasizes that spiritual transformation is not limited to a single moment, but continues as humanity responds to the message. Those who integrate faith into their daily lives begin to see tangible changes in their surroundings, more harmonious relationships, more conscious decisions, and a profound sense of purpose. Every day that passes after November 5th, the influence of this phenomenon continues to guide those who have chosen to listen and open their hearts. Finally, the messenger concludes Block 9 with a powerful reminder. My children, November 5th is not just an event, it is a collective awakening. Those who listen, pray, and open their hearts experience the spiritual shift that heaven has prepared for humanity. Keep the faith, remain attentive to the signs, and share the light you have received, for your transformation will be the beginning of a more united and conscious world. Brothers and sisters, as November 5th draws to a close, the phenomenon of the sea, the sky, and humanity begins to complete its visible cycle, but the divine message remains alive, profound, and eternal. The Virgin Mary, in her infinite mercy, sends one last call to all attentive hearts, reminding us that what we experienced is not a mere temporary event, but an awakening that will continue beyond this day. The messenger describes how the final waves of the sea seem to dance in harmony with the light that still shines on the shore. Each glimmer reflects ancient symbols and angelic figures that slowly fade away, as if the Virgin Mary were saying, I have fulfilled my warning for today, but the spiritual path continues. The witnesses feel a silence that is not empty, but full of meaning. The peace that accompanies the fulfillment of the warning and the opening of new paths. Those who are most attentive perceive that even the wind and the scent of the sea convey a message. Each breath becomes a reminder that heaven is still present, that mercy and divine guidance do not cease with the closing of the physical world. The experience has transcended the visible. It is now an inner truth that each heart must cherish and nurture. The messenger recounts how the final testimonies are even more moving. People who had never felt deep faith now feel an inner commitment. Young and old, the elderly and children, all report a sense of clarity and purpose that once seemed unattainable. Some describe how problems that seemed insurmountable now have new solutions, and how prayer has become a tangible bridge to peace and divine guidance. Among the most striking accounts are those of people who report seeing figures representing the protection of the Virgin Mary over towns, cities, and oceans. Some claim to have seen lights expanding toward the horizon, like a celestial mantle covering humanity, a reminder that every act of faith is welcomed and protected by heaven. The messenger emphasizes that this mystical closing is not a conclusion, but a transition. The Virgin Mary leaves a message that will continue to resonate in hearts. My children, what you have experienced today is only the beginning. The faith you have sown in your hearts will blossom and guide others. Remain vigilant, pray constantly, and remember that my love and mercy are always with you. Humanity, through the witnesses, feels that warning and mercy are intertwined. Those who listened and observed attentively now understand that divine intervention is not limited to a single day or a physical phenomenon. Every act of faith, every prayer, and every gesture of kindness continues to be a channel that keeps the connection with the Virgin Mary and with heaven alive. In the final moments of the day, miracles and supernatural signs begin to take on more subtle forms, almost imperceptible to those who do not seek to observe with their hearts. Some witnesses perceive a vibration in their chest, others feel a gentle warmth spreading through their bodies, and many hear a whisper that seems to say, "Do not forget what you have seen and felt. This will continue." The messenger narrates that this transition prepares the way for the coming prophetic messages. Humanity has been awakened, collective consciousness has begun to rise, and faith has been strengthened. Now, every heart that participated in the experience of November 5th becomes a beacon of light, ready to guide others toward prayer, protection, and spiritual unity. Some witnesses experience visions of future encounters with additional divine signs. The Virgin Mary appears in dreams, in deep meditations, and in moments of intense prayer, reminding them that what happened on November 5th is only one part of a larger plan. These visions reinforce the idea that the warning, guidance, and mercy continue, and that every soul has a role to play in preparing for the coming heavenly events. The messenger emphasizes that this final section, while concluding the visible narrative of the phenomenon, opens the door to the continuity of faith and spiritual connection. The Virgin Mary makes it clear that her love is constant, and that humanity must remain vigilant, aware, and united in prayer so that every future message may be received with attention and open hearts. Finally, the last testimonies reflect a mixture of awe, gratitude, and hope. Those who participated in the phenomenon feel that something within them has changed forever. Inner peace, spiritual clarity, and a connection with the divine are gifts that will endure and guide humanity in the days, weeks, and months to come. The messenger concludes with these words, "My children, today you have witnessed my presence, my warning, and my mercy. Keep the faith, share what you have learned, and remember that every prayer, every kind gesture, and every act of love toward your neighbor is a bridge to my heart. What begins today does not end. It will continue, and you will be the guardians of this light."